What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? A North Carolina judge sentenced a retired Special Forces agent to a night in jail for violating his probation, then promptly proceeded to spend the night in a cell with him. 41-year-old Joe Cerner, who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder after 3 tours in Afghanistan, was diverted to Cumberland County Veterans Court after being charged with driving under the influence and other traffic offenses. The court is a special court to help troubled veterans avoid jail time and get the help they need. He was told to stay sober and return to court every 2 weeks. But when he appeared before Judge Lou Oliveira, a Gulf War veteran, on April 12th, Cerner said he admitted that he had lied to the court and that his last urinalysis had been positive. Oliveira sentenced him to a night in jail and the next day drove him to nearby Lumberton to serve the time. When Joe first came to turn himself in, he was trembling, says Oliveira. I decided that I'd spend the night serving with him. They take me to the cell. I'm sitting on my bunk, and then in walks the judge, Cerner said. I knew this was a very compassionate man. He said the two spent the night talking about their military experiences. It's hard to imagine an American judge doing something like that. They're so pro-punishment. They love locking people up. In fact, some of them play games with locking people up. I mean, they'll just dig in a bowl and pull out a number. And whatever that number is, that's your sentence. They do all kind of crazy stuff like that. I mean, we had a judge in Texas, Judge Poe. Oh, he was one of the worst, man. Riding to the core. He recently retired, but he he straight up destroyed people's lives. This dude would go, that was reports, put it like that, of him going into like the restroom and joking. Somebody overheard him joking with another judge about sentencing people, 30, 40, 50 years. But whatever was heard, it's believable because his record speaks for itself. He would give you, 11 years on a probation violation. Maybe all you did was couldn't afford to pay your fines. The dude was horrible. He was one of the worst. So this judge is not, in my opinion, to be commended. A lot of people jumping up and down, oh, he's a good judge. That's what we need. We need more judges like him. Hey, man, okay, I'm supposed to be impressed because you sentenced the dude to 1 night in jail and you went to spend the night in jail with him. Why not, you're the judge, why not just not sentence him to jail at all? Since you're going to give him the luxury of having the judge sit in jail with him, make sure that he gets treated right, make sure he eat good. He say they ate meatloaf. But why even sentence him at all if that's the plan? If you really, want to impress me, go out there and do about 72 months with one of those inmates you sentenced. In fact, do 72 years with one of those inmates you sentenced. I ain't buying it, man. Bunch of posturing for the cameras. That's all that is. Would be nice if judges exercise that type of compassion. And if they did it often, not just do it to stunt for the cameras, but what if they actually did it? What if they just actually really cared about people and they really did that for real? Like, people first, what's in the best interest of the person? Because we know that just locking people up ain't the answer. We know that. In fact, most people who are in jail for nonviolent crimes. But the way that they are able to get away with locking people up for these crazy amounts of times is they scare the public and they create this boogeyman. Oh, he's dangerous. Dangerous. They're dangerous. Everybody's dangerous. Everything is dangerous. And it's just have people living in fear. So the more that they can promote fear, the more money they can get, the more people they can hire. But it's really about getting money so that they can stuff their pockets. A lot of these sheriffs, chiefs of police, they actually pocket a lot of this money. Some sheriffs have been caught buying homes, buying cars with money that was intended to go to inmates, to feed inmates, or to pay for a certain facility expenses, jailhouse or prison facility expenses. They're stuffing their pockets with the money. So I'm not buying it. These judges will rip your children away from you. They'll take the children away from you and your spouse, put them in a foster home and bankrupt both of y'all. They don't give a damn, man. Ain't no compassion in American courts. Don't ever think that's the case. There is no compassion. That judge is a company man. His job is to lock people up. Feed the machine. The machine. Feed it. That's his job. Lock people up. Give people a bunch of time. They don't care about removing people away from their families. They don't care about children growing up without daddies. They don't care about that. That's just talk, man. That's just talk. If they cared, they could do something about it. They could actually be more compassionate, but they're not built like that. The system is strictly made to operate as a machine that eats humans alive. That's what it does. And it's intentionally made to break up homes, to break up families. That's what it's made for. All of this other stuff ain't nothing but grand posturing. If compassion heals, well, what does the opposite of compassion do? I say it adds insult to injury and promotes resentment. Correct me if I'm wrong. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Damn.